This week's discussion post has us asking or answering the questions: how do you know if you've done something morally wrong? How did you learn what was morally right and wrong? And how do you teach young children morals? And whether or not cultural diversity, plays a role in morals. Well, I think, if we go back to the first question, how do you know if you've done something morally wrong? I think we all have this internal voice that speaks within us and tells us in our gut whether we've done something right or wrong. I think we learn at a very young age how to make wrong and right decisions. I think every moral act consists of certain elements, what you do, why you do it, and the how and the consequence for how and why you did it. So when you're faced with a moral decision, you have to choose between what is right and what is wrong. How did I learn what was right and wrong? Growing up in a Hispanic Catholic upbringing, my parents had their own strict rules that we had to follow, and a lot of values were instilled in us. But also in Catholic school, through Christianity, we learned what was right and what was wrong, and the consequences for those actions. So as a Catholic, we were taught young that if you made wrong choices and you broke those commandments, then you'd go to hell. There would not be in God's favor, So that kind of instilled a fear in me to make wrong decisions. A question that you had posed was, how can you teach young children morals? I think that right now, we as educators really do instill character education within our classrooms. We teach young children, start them off small with basic lessons of sharing and taking turns, and whether or not that something, if they take something that doesn't belong to them, is that stealing, and you teach them right from wrong. Children at an early age are in stages of both cognitive and emotional development, and lessons can be integrated in a daily preschool classroom to help develop moral decision making. Teachers can actively model and share examples with students, by exposing them to moral situations or issues through the use of books, maybe even act out some skits using puppets, where children have to listen and then answer questions based on those situations. Sometimes children will identify with some of the characters who are faced with moral dilemmas, and this allows them to realize that they're able to overcome adversity, and it might also give them the tools to help them make better decisions. The last and final question was, how does culture play a role in morals? I think that it plays a huge factor. I think that each culture has its own set of unique rules that they apply to their dynamic, and I think that that's what plays a factor.